To all that are in the room, I salute you. I greet you all in the matchless name of Jesus. He's here. Woo. He's here. And right under this atmosphere, if you can turn your Bibles with me to Numbers chapter 14. We're moving. And when you have it, just say, I got it. If you don't, just say, wait on me. All right. So, Numbers 14, I'm reading from verse 1. We'll stop around verse 30. And it reads, And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said unto them, Would God that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would God we had died in this wilderness? And wherefore hath the Lord brought us into this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should be a prey? Were it not better for us to return into Egypt? And they said one to another, Let us make a captain, and let us return into Egypt. Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. And Joshua the son of Nun, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were of them that searched the land, rent their clothes, and they spake unto all the company of the children of Israel, saying, The land which we passed through to search it is an exceeding good land. If the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land that floweth with milk and honey. Only rebel not ye against the Lord, neither fear ye the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their defense is departed from them, and the Lord is with us. Fear them not. But all the congregation bade stone them with stones. And the glory of the Lord appeared in the tabernacle of the congregation before all the children of Israel. And the Lord said unto Moses, How long will this people provoke me? And how long will it be ere they believe me? For all the signs which I have shown among them, I will smite them with the pestilence, and disinherit them, and will make of thee a greater nation and mightier than they. And Moses said unto the Lord, Then the Egyptians shall hear it, for thou broughtest up this people in thy might from among them. And they will tell it to the inhabitants of this land, for they have heard that thou, Lord, art among this people, that thou, Lord, art seen face to face, and that thy cloud standeth over them, and that thou goest before them by daytime in a pillar of cloud, and in a pillar of fire by night. Now if thou shalt kill all these people as one man, then the nations which have heard the fame of thee will speak, saying, Because the Lord was not able to bring this people into the land which he sware unto them, therefore hath slain them in the wilderness. And now I beseech thee, let the power of my Lord be great, according as thou hast spoken, saying, The Lord is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. Pardon, I beseech thee, the iniquity of this people, according unto the greatness of thy mercy, and as thou hast forgiven this people from Egypt, even until now. Verse 20, And the Lord said, I have pardoned according to thy word, but as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord, because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times, and have not hearkened to my voice, surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that provoked me see it. But my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him, and hath followed me fully, him will I bring into the land whereinto he went, and his seed shall possess it. Now the Amalekites and the Canaanites dwelt in the valley. Tomorrow turn you, and get you in the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, How long shall I bear with this evil congregation? which murmur against me. I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me. Say unto them, as truly as I live, said the Lord, as ye have spoken in mine ears, so will I do unto you. Your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward, which have murmured against me. Doubtless ye shall not come into the land concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. If you can just turn to your neighbor. Yeah, we do partnership here. If you can just turn to your neighbor and just say, neighbor, for the future, contend. If that other neighbor didn't receive it right, you just turn to the next one and just tell them, neighbor, oh neighbor, for the future, contend. You may be seated in heavenly places. My beloved brothers and sisters, when we look around us, not only in headlines, but within our very own households, within our very own pews, within the fabric of our very own communities, there is a groaning, a heaviness, a sense that the earth itself is crying out. As Paul wrote in one of my favorite scriptures, Romans 8, he said, waiting, travailing, a groaning for the manifestations of the sons of God. And it did not happen all at once. Little by little, when we saw what's happening, we adjusted. We learned how to survive in broken systems. We grew accustomed to the headlines of violence, corruption, injustice until outrage turned to numbness. In our churches, we normalized dry altars and dim lamps, convincing ourselves that a spark was enough when God promised us fire. In our communities, we grew content with survival when we were called to live in abundance. And even in our very own personal lives, if we are honest, we have found a strange comfort in order to our own dysfunctions. We have learned how to carry depression like it's a part of our wardrobe, how to manage cycles of sin like they're just family heirlooms, how to sit down in a disappointment until it feels like home. But we didn't choose it on purpose, but somehow, step by step, we've become comfortable in places God never called us to remain. It is the same tension that the prophet Ezekiel saw, that in the valley of dry bones, bodies once filled with life, now settled in death, lying scattered, disconnected and stilled. Yeah, but the bones were resisting. They were not resisting. They had grown used to being lifeless. And is that not the danger of this hour? That we would get so accustomed to the wilderness, trained by the barrenness, that we stop believing there's anything more. And it is here, beloved, that our text in Numbers 14 finds us, I want to say, more of a reflection and mirror. Israel was not in Egypt anymore. They had been delivered by this point. They've seen the Red Sea split. They've tasted manna from heaven. They had seen the presence of God descend like fire on the mountaintop. But when they stood at the edge of promise, they trembled. Fear began to whisper louder than faith. Nostalgia for captivity seemed safer than the risk of walking into destiny. We'll get to that. But the Lord had positioned them. They were not wandering by accident. God himself had brought them into that threshold. But standing at the border of Canaan, the people saw giants and forgot their God. They saw obstacles and forgot the one who had carried them from seas and storms. And rather than contending for the future, they longed for the past. A past that had held them captive, but at least felt familiar. This is where we're going to pause and ask ourselves, have we too become paralyzed at the edge of promise? Have we allowed the turbulence of the present to make us forget the faithfulness of the past? Because God's positioning has not changed. The promise, it's still present and it's still sure. But the question before us now is, are we going to contend for the future or retreat into the comfort of dysfunction? So let's lean in a bit. We're going to get into the weight of uncertainty. The greatest challenge of Israel in that moment was not simply the size of giants. It was truly the weight of uncertainty. Because if we're honest, we are a people, we just love to know. If you're anything like me, I always need to know the next step. Anybody that I work with or whatever's going on, I'm like, okay, what are we doing next? What are we doing right now? I don't like when you're not telling me, I don't want to micromanage, but can I at least know what's going on? And so we love to know. We want details. We want God to give us a step-by-step Thank you. A step-by-step manual before we lift our foot in faith. I'll repeat that one more time. Because if we are honest, we are a people that we want details, we want timelines, we want blueprints before we move. We want God to give us a step-by-step manual before we ever lift a foot in faith. But here lies the tension. Faith does not thrive where certainty lives. I'll repeat that one more time. Faith does not thrive where certainty lives. Faith demands that we walk when we don't know yet the entire path. And that's why I love Hebrews, that by faith Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should have after received for inheritance, obeyed, and he went out not knowing whither he went. And so the blessing was not in the knowing, but it was in the going. And so Israel struggled. They looked at the wilderness and said, at least in Egypt, we knew what each day held. They murmured, they wept, they even conspired to turn back. Why? Because Egypt, though it was bondage, it offered a strange kind of certainty. Egypt represented captivity. It also represented predictability. They knew what the work was. They knew where the food came from. They knew the rhythm of their suffering. They knew the rhythm of their suffering. There is a dangerous comfort in dysfunction when it becomes familiar. You may not like it. It may feel uncomfortable. You may hate it, but at least you know it. And so this is why, in Ecclesiastes it says, now say not thou, what is the cause that the former days were better than these? For thou dost not inquire wisely concerning this, because what looks like stability can actually be slavery. I'll say that one more time. What looks like, after we get to a point of normalizing things, what looks like stability can actually be slavery. What feels like certainty could very much be captivity. And can I bring it home? Some of us are not stuck because the adversary is strong, but because we've grown attached to predictable pain. We stay in cycles not because they satisfy us, but because they are familiar to us. We cling to jobs that drain us, relationships that break us, habits that will enslave us, not because we like them, but because at least we have an understanding and we know how they work. But beloved, if we are going to contend for the future, we cannot allow the fear of the unknown to keep us bound in the dysfunction of the known. Faith calls us to step into spaces where we do not have all of the answers, but we have the assurance that Emmanuel is with us. That's why I love Hebrews, knowing that the faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. You're not able to see it. If I go forward into Romans, it says, for we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen as not hope. For what a man seeth, why doth he hope for it? You see, Israel's problem was not that they lacked miracles. They lacked memory. They forgot that the same God who opened the Red Sea could surely bring them into Canaan. They let uncertainty rob them of trust when God was trying to tie them and bring them into their promise. And even if we get into the comfort of dysfunction, the weight of uncertainty didn't keep Israel from moving, not only from moving forward, but it pushed them back into a very dangerous mindset. Because when you don't know what tomorrow holds, when you trace the steps in front of you, your heart will then often reach for the last thing that felt familiar. And for Israel, that was Egypt. But here's where the danger lies. When you confuse familiarity with freedom, you will start calling your chains comfort. And when you confuse predictability with peace, you'll end up desiring the very dysfunction that the Lord is trying to deliver you from. That's where Israel was standing, not just afraid of what they didn't know, but comforted by what they should have never wanted to go back into. And so Numbers 14 records when it says, would God that we had died in the land of Egypt, would God we had died in the wilderness. Imagine that. They would rather die in captivity than live in the uncertainty. That's what the weight of uncertainty does to you. It can cripple you. That's what dysfunction does. It reprograms your appetite. It makes you desire what destroys you simply just because it feels familiar. And so Egypt had been cruel, not having the greatest foundation that they were trying to build on their own. Bricks without straw, I would even say, whips across their backs. They've had sons that have been thrown into the Nile, all in the placement of their time while in slavery. But yet they have now come into the wilderness, delivered from that, and Egypt suddenly seemed attractive. Why? Because at least in Egypt, they knew what the day held. Dysfunction had become their baseline for normal. And so I love when Peter warns us, and I had to tie it in and bring it in because as I was reflecting on this, I just remembered the scripture that says the dog that turned to his own vomit again and saw that what was washed to her wallowing in the mire. It's not that the vomit tastes good. It's just what the dog knows. And it's not that the mud feels safe, but it's just where the pig feels is familiar. And before we judge, Israel too harshly, let's bring it to today. Let's bring it home. How many times or how many of us have done the same, where God calls you out of a toxic relationship, but loneliness makes you miss the very abuse you prayed for him to break. He delivers you from a cycle of addiction, but the stress of the unknown makes you crave the very thing that almost destroyed you. He pushes you, the church, into revival, but because revival doesn't fit our programs, rituals, traditions, and calendars, we retreat back to dead routines and call it order. Beloved, dysfunction is seductive because it disguises itself as safety. It tells you may not like me, but at least you know me. But God is not in the business of keeping you comfortable in your chains. He is the God that said in Isaiah that, behold, I do a new thing. You remember not the former things of old, and neither consider the things of such, but he will do a new thing. Shall it not spring forth? Egypt will always try to convince you that the past is safer than the promise, but the wilderness was never meant to be a place of regression. It was the passage into the promise. And the moment you start craving your Egypt, you are delaying your Canaan. And so you must not confuse comfort with calling. Don't allow the dysfunction you've outgrown to hold you hostage. God is too committed to your future to let you go back to what once bound you. And so here's where we get into contending for the promise, because in the middle of a murmuring crowd, in the midst of fear and regression, there were two voices, Joshua and Caleb. Numbers says they tore their clothes and declared that if the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us into this land. Only rebel not ye against the Lord, neither fear ye the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their defense is departed from them, and the Lord is with us. In other words, while everyone else was seeing giants, they saw groceries. While the crowd saw obstacles, they saw opportunity. While the multitude longed for Egypt, they contended for the future. Now see, the word contend means to fight, to strive, to wrestle with conviction. And saints, that is the call of the hour, because the promise of God is never seized by passive hands. It takes a fight to lay hold of what God has spoken. Paul understood this when he said, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before and pressing towards the mark. Joshua pressed, Caleb pressed, Paul pressed. And if you're going to inherit what God had promised, you too must press. Now here's a challenge, because contending often looks crazy to those who've settled for comfort. Joshua and Caleb weren't celebrated. They were nearly stoned. And isn't that the truth even now, where the moment you decided to break a cycle, to live holy, to walk in faith, to trust him for more, you'll be misunderstood, you'll be criticized, you'll be isolated. But contending requires a mindset that refuses to bow to fear. I'll say that one more time. Contending requires a mindset that refuses to bow to fear. Going forward in Hebrews, cast not away, therefore, your confidence, which hath great recompense of reward. For ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of God, ye receive the promise. In other words, don't throw away your confidence right now. Don't let fear, don't let fatigue, don't let frustration cause you to forfeit your future. If I brought this into modern application, some of us are at the edge of the business idea, but fear is telling us that it's too risky. Some of us are on the brink of ministry, but doubt whispers that you are not qualified. Some of us are staring at generational cycles, but complacency says it's too big to break. But the devil is a liar. If the Lord delight in you, he will bring you into it. If the Lord be for you, who can be against you? If he had promised it, no giant, no wall, no devil in hell can keep you from it. You cannot allow the crowd's fear to silence your faith. Don't let Egypt's memory erase Canaan's reality. You must contend. You must press. You must fight because the promise is still sure. And so there's a moment in this text, and even in our own lives we can see it as such, where the Lord will let you weep. But he will not let you remain in the weeping. Numbers showed us that there were people groaning, grieving, and murmuring. And hear me, God is not ignorant of your pain. He is not untouched by your tears. There is a space to lament. There is a room to mourn. There is permission to grieve. But the lament was never meant to become lodging. Grief was never meant to become your grave. And this is where Exodus stood out, when Israel stood paralyzed at the Red Sea. And the Lord said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forward. In other words, yes, cry, mourn, yes, but now it's time for you to move. And isn't this the same word that God spoke to Samuel in 1 Samuel 16? How long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill thine horn with oil and go. Did you catch that? Now God said, how long will you cry over what I have already closed? How long will you stay stuck in yesterday when I have anointed tomorrow? There comes to a point where God looks at us and says, yes, the season has shifted. Yes, what you wanted didn't work. Yes, some people may have walked away. Yes, some doors may have closed. But you cannot allow your future to die because you're still tied to what used to be. And I even hear this in the spirit that, yes, it is your time. It is your turn. Not by accident, not by coincidence, but divine appointment. Joshua and Caleb had to rise up in the generation and contend for their future because it was their time. Samuel had to start mourning Saul because it was time to anoint David. And for some of you, the reason the wilderness feels so heavy right now is because God is saying, this is your moment to contend. This is your moment to go forward. So yes, mourn. Yes, reconcile. Yes, take the moment to breathe and to heal. But hear me clearly, you cannot stop here. You cannot stay here. For God is with us. He is Emmanuel. And that means that he is already waiting for you in your tomorrow. For he exists outside of time. He goes beyond the time frame of our own being. But he says that he is with you always. Lo, I will be with you always, even until the very ends of the world. So go forward. Go forward into your calling. Go forward into your promise. Go forward into your deliverance. Go forward into your inheritance. It is your time. It is your turn. And the same God who brought you out of Egypt is the same God who will carry you into your Canaan. The promises of God are sure. And we must be clear that forward is not without a fight. Every inheritance comes with opposition. Every anointing attracts adversaries. Every promise is invited by a battle. And Paul told Timothy, this I charge, I commit unto thee, son Timothy, according to the prophecies which went before on thee, that thou by them mightest a good warfare. Mightest war a good warfare. In other words, don't just clap at the word given to you. Don't just clap at the prophecy, but now you must contend with it. You must have good stewardship over the word that has been spoken over your life. Don't just shout for the promise, but now you must fight for it. Because the word spoken over you is not just information, but it is now ammunition for your fight. It is now backing for your warfare. This is why Ephesians said, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, not but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. To go forward is to war forward. To contend for the future is to accept that giants will rise, walls will stand tall, and the enemy will whisper, turn back. But hear me, don't wage this warfare empty-handed. You don't wage this warfare empty-handed. You wage it with the weapons of faith, the shield of the Spirit, the sword of the word, and the assurance that victory is already written. For the weapons of our warfare, they're not carnal, but mighty through God, to the pulling down of strongholds. And let me declare this prophetically. The reason you felt unusual warfare in this season is because there's unusual promise on the other side. I'll say this again. You can take it and receive it, but I hear the Lord that the reason why the fight is so unusual is because there's an unusual promise waiting on the other side. You got the word, but there is more. There is more. Shall you not see it? There is more waiting for you on the other side. The reason why the fight, why the battle feels heavier is because the future God is birthing through it and through you is weightier. Israel's giants were proof that Canaan was real. Your opposition is the evidence that the destiny is near. And so this is the activation. It is now time, it is your time to rise and contend. Not with apathy, not with passivity, not with murmuring, but with a holy determination that says, I will not go back. I will not settle. I will not compromise. I will not fold under pressure. I will not be intimidated by giants. I will not be seduced by Egypt. I will not die in the wilderness. I will not waste the prophecy over my life. I will not abort the promise God has placed over my life. I will not be silent when God has called me to speak. I will not shrink when He has called me to stand. I will not bow when He has called me to contend, but I will press towards the mark of the prize of the high calling which is in Christ Jesus. I will fight the good fight of faith. I will war the word spoken over me. I will stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. I will move forward even when I don't understand. I will hold on to the promise even when the pressure amounts. I will believe God even when everything around me says otherwise. I will contend because what's ahead of me is greater. There is greater, for your latter shall be greater than your past. There is greater. High five your neighbor and just say greater. Just say greater. Run over to somebody and just say greater. Run over to somebody and just say greater. Tap that person and just say greater. I see you now, but I see you in the future, and there's greater. I see you now, but I see you beyond your circumstance, and there's greater, for it does not yet appear what we shall be. But we know, how we shall appear. There is greater, there is greater, there is greater. Greater, greater. This is not the moment of mourning. This is the moment of marching. This is not a funeral of what was, but we are now in the birthing of what shall be. This is your time, and it is your turn. And so if you're saying, Lord, I refuse to go back, I refuse to die in this wilderness, I'm contending for what lies ahead. I want you to step out from where you are. We're going to take prophetic activation in here. Step out from where you are. Step out and go across. You got to go across the other side of the room and just say, greater. I'm walking into greater. I'm moving into greater. I'm taking a hold of what the devil tried to take from me, for he said that I will restore it to you. the word. He's restoring the years. Oh, manabaso. I feel that for somebody. Oh, he's restoring the years now. Hey, you had your time and you settled in the dysfunction. But not only is he taking you out of it, but he's restoring. He's restoring. The years that have been taken. Walk into greater. Walk into greater. Walk into greater. Walk into greater. We fight the good fight of faith. We press towards the mark. We war with the word. We will contend, for there is greater there is ahead. Because your posture is your prophecy today. Your posture is your prophecy. You will not move forward in the word that is spoken over you. Hear me. I hear this by the Spirit. The word that has been spoken over your life cannot be fulfilled unless the posture is right. If there is not the right posture, you cannot see advancement and fulfillment of the prophecy. There must be get in posture, get in posture. I hear it for some of you that are out of line. Get in posture. Get out of there. No, get out of there now. Yeah, get into posture. Get into posture. Get into posture. Align yourself. Yeah, myself. Posture yourself. Posture yourself. Come out of there. No. Hey, posture yourself. Woo! Posture yourself now. Hey, consecrate. Hey, consecrate me, Lord, for thy service. Yeah. Posture yourself. Posture yourself. Posture yourself. I don't know who this is. I feel if you will allow me, I feel the womb of intercession for some of you. Some of you have been called to an advancement in your prayer life in this season. Certain things you will not see the manifestation of until you get into posture. Get into posture. Get into posture. Get into posture. There is a word that is warring over your life. There are principalities that are trying to yank out of you everything that the Lord has spoken over your life. There is so much on the inside of you that the enemy is trying to abort, but we speak it now under the mighty hand of Yahweh that you will not abort. You will not abort. You will not abort. The promise is yours. You will give birth to. You will give birth to. You will give birth. You will give birth in this season. You will give birth. You will produce. You will produce. You will produce. Hey, come forth. Come forth. It's time to bring forth. It's time to bring forth. It's time to bring forth. It's time to produce. Get into the posture so you can produce. Get into the posture so you can produce. Get into the posture so you can produce. Get into posture. War. Hey. A good warfare. You are the curse breaker. You are the one that was called to break the generations. I'm sorry. But for whoever that was for, it has lied on your responsibility. Come forward. Come forward. Because it is your posture to produce. And we get into the point of posture. There's a certain posture that David had, and it's something that he was criticized for. It was something that he was judged for. But as he told his wife that he would get more undignified than this, there is a posture. And it's the posture of praise. Praise comely for the upright. If you're going to get into posture, if it's coming for the upright, hey, there must be a posture of praise. And I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth, for my soul shall make her boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear thereof and be glad. And now this is where you come in. Oh, magnify of praise. It's as of praise. We bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of the Lord. But this praise, it is for your future. How do you contend? How do you contend? You come in with the praise on your lips, a heart of thanksgiving, with your hands lifted up, a mouth filled with praise. Ask Jehoshaphat, how did we win the war? If you don't pray, if you don't shout, for the battle is already won. The battle is already won. He's already gone before you and won the fight. Don't wait till the battle is over, because you can shout right now. You can shout right now. You can shout. You can shout. You can shout right now. Let a praise erupt. Let a sound of worship erupt. Let a sound of praise erupt. Let a sound of praise erupt. Let a sound of praise erupt. Yes. Let a sound of praise erupt. Let a sound of praise erupt. Come out. Yeah. And I feel him breaking it as you worship. I feel him breaking it as you shout. As you shout. As you praise. I feel him breaking it. It's breaking. We're here for the breaking. It's breaking. It's breaking. It's breaking. It's breaking. It's breaking. It's It's breaking. Yes. It's Yes, it's breaking. It's breaking. Hey, as you shout, it's lifting. As you praise, it's lifting. As you go, it's breaking. I see. It's breaking. Break. Give him glory. Yup. Give him praise. Give him praise. This is how we fight. This is how we war. This is how we fight. This is how we contend. Contend with the praise. Contend with the praise. Contend with the praise. Contend with the praise. With my hands lifted up and my mouth filled with praise, with a heart of thanksgiving, bless your young. Contend, because the future belongs to those who dare to war for it. The future belongs to those who dare to contend. And so today we decree and declare that we will not die here. You will not die here. We will live and we will possess the land. In order to possess, you must cross over. In order to take inheritance, you must cross over. Possess the land. Possess it with the praise. Contend with the praise. The only way that you can go forward, the only way that you can cross over, you have to shout. You have to praise. You must praise, because as you praise, the windows of heaven, they're open. The blessings are falling just now. Lift it, lift it, lift it, okay. Lift it, lift it, all over the room. Lift your praise, lift your praise, lift your praise, lift your praise, lift it. Oh, not my side. Lift it, lift it. May you praise, may you give him praise as you contend for it. He's going forth in the praise. Sometimes we sell ourselves short because we end at a certain point in time, but he's calling you to the deeper. Deep calls on to deeper. He's calling you to greater. He's calling unto you the deeper things that he wants to reveal unto you. You must pray. You must shout. Shout. You must shout. You must shout. Yep, there it is. You must shout. You must shout. I'm sorry. We have to stay here for a while because as you praise, I see him lifting it. I see, oh God, I see him lifting it. I see him bringing you into your dwelling place. I go my side. Hey, I see him lifting it. I see him lifting it. I see him lifting it. Oh, hey, Namako Shataya. Hey, I see him lifting it. As you praise, Pastor Greaves, there's an advancement of keys coming to Faith Temple. As you praise, I see an advancement coming to the sanctuary. As you praise, this is what we came to do. This is what we came to do. This is what we came to do. And as we possess the land, go forward, contend, because whatever this lie the enemy tried to put on you that you are done and that you are out for the count, I believe there's a song that goes, he's not done with me yet, for there is more. There is more. There is more to the story. You are not done. It is not your time to quit. It is not your time to end. There is more. As you posture, may you praise and contend for the future.